There are only about 400 people who've had the opportunity to be in space. And we all talk about the beauty of the Earth. But there's another aspect that isn't talked about as much. And my crew and I represented 5 different religions. 7 of us, but 5 different religions. But while we talked about the great beauty of this Earth while we were orbiting it, we also talked about our anger and our frustration and our irritation. Because the Earth is not only beautiful, it looks so peaceful, so completely peaceful from space, and yet you recognize that it is not. And at the time we were flying, the Iran-Iraq war was going on. Saddam Hussein, the Ayatollah, were killing tens of thousands of each other's people and doing it in the name of God, and both sides claiming God was on their side. No, he isn't. He must be terribly displeased with how we treat each other here on the Earth. So he had all these feelings of frustration and irritation because of this beautiful, peaceful-looking Earth, but how really corrupt it is in so many cases. We talked about how you can't fly in space without recognizing that we are all children of God traveling on Spaceship Earth together, and it doesn't make a difference where you live, doesn't make a difference what language you speak, and it certainly doesn't make any difference the color of your skin. We are children of God traveling on Spaceship Earth together. And we ought to treat each other a great deal better than we do. You also have the feelings of looking out into space of how insignificant the planet Earth is in the overall scheme of things. There are more than 100 billion suns just in our galaxy. And some people estimate as many as 200 billion suns. And yet you look out into space and realize there are galaxies that are some 15 billion light years away. Now, I don't know how far that is. 186,000 miles times 60 seconds times 60 minutes times 24 hours times 365 days times 15 billion. I don't know how far that is, but it's a long, long way. They estimate there's some 50 million galaxies out there, and we think we're important here on planet Earth? This little speck of dust that is really virtually nothing. Just the thousands of light years it would take to get across our own galaxy is amazing. And so I spoke to Senate prayer breakfast not long after my flight, and I told them of the beauties of the Earth and the spiritual feelings, and that they were so intense that I was absolutely convinced, and this was my belief before I went, but it enhanced it, that God created the universe. And everybody said, well, sure, we agree with that. But I said, there are children of God on other planets that look like just you and I. They're no different. They don't have green skin. They don't have big wrinkled foreheads or anything. They don't look like Spock with pointed ears. They are children of God and on other planets. And one of my colleagues said, Jake, I don't believe that. I believe God created the universe, but this is the only place he put his children. So I went through all those numbers of 50 million galaxies out there, 15 billion light years away. I said, okay, let's assume that we are atheist mathematicians. We don't believe in God. Then wouldn't the law of large numbers indicate to you that someplace out there might just happen to be a planet the right distance from its sun to have the proper temperature and humidity so that life could evolve out of the sea? He said, I don't believe that. And I said, well, I don't either. But then I said, you believe God is logical and intelligent? And he said, of course. And I said, well, then isn't that a lot of overkill out there? Why would he do that? That's like me saying that I have built every man-made object on Earth, every apartment building, every factory, every man-made object, every home for the people in this group, 300 or 400 people. And he said, well, you believe that? And I said, well, the difference in numbers isn't nearly as great. If we believe God created the universe, why would he build this thing and say, aha, there's that little planet Earth. That's the only place I will put my children. So I don't care what religion someone is. I sincerely believe there are children of God on other planets that look just like you and I. No doubt in my mind about that whatsoever, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense for God to build a universe and then pick this one little speck to put people on it.